So anyway, this is what social media inevitably for me comes down to. I started it because I wanted to meet people, and I got involved in things like Geek Dinner and 27 Dinner and so on because I wanted to continue my networking and connecting with people. And essentially that's what drove me to continue posting on my blog. Some of you might have different perspectives. And I think that there's potentially two streams. There's people who wanted to make money from their blog, and I worked in one of those. And it's becoming increasingly more difficult to get noticed or to actually make real money from a blog. Has anyone noticed? You spend more of your time SEOing, tweeting, optimizing your blog than you do actually spend writing it. So that's the one way. And the other way, if that's too much effort for you, then you're doing it because you want to share or because you want to connect with people. So that's an oversimplification, but I see two major streams there. So the one stream, blogging for money, I don't call blogging anymore. Sorry, that's publishing, because WordPress might have originally started as a blogging platform, but now it's a publishing tool, it's a CMS. The other side is the amateurs, and that's kind of where I'm interested in. And the thing is, we've got to a point that so many people are using this platform that we're quite literally overwhelmed with the amount of information out there. So if I can find a more efficient way to connect with someone other than in a 600-word blog post, and if I can maybe get that from other platforms that save me more time and money, then I'm likely to gravitate towards those. So we'll discuss what those. So my slides got a little bit mixed up. This is supposed to be a little bit before, after the donkey hanging in the air thing, but there's so much content to get through. We really don't have the time, so we're trying to maximize, or at least myself, I'm trying to maximize the efficiency around connecting with people because I want to build those relationships. And I myself have less and less time to write those long posts, so I'm looking for better ways to do that. And I've thought about it. It's not about content necessarily for me. I think there's plenty of content out there. And when blogs first came on the scene, I would read them just because they were blogs. The content didn't have to be good. If it was a blog, I was reading it, and they would have preference over traditional media. And my RSS feed was clogged up with about 100 feeds every day. And what started off as a productivity tool almost paralyzed me in terms of work. So the internet is an ultimate copying machine. All of it is increasingly becoming free, even among professional content creators. So what's not free in this world where we're publishing there? What's not free? Time and attention. Time and attention is not free. What about our reputation and our brands and our profiles? So Matt talked about owning your own domain name. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's because you're investing a lot of time and effort building up a certain persona online. And that's all that you have at the end of the day, right? After you put in all your work and all your time and all your effort, if your servers go down, you might cease to exist for some people, but at the end of the day, that's what you're left with. And that's a tangible economic value that at least I've realized from blogging. It's my brand. And so something soft in this age of over-information becomes increasingly important and valuable. Also, evaluating all these choices around content can take up lots of valuable time and attention, stuff that's not free, so it starts to cost us in a sense. Time and attention savers are incredibly valuable in this world, and I've noticed something that I find very, very interesting. Two things that I'd like to point out here. Twitter, in fact 3 things. 12 seconds, Twitter, and Chachka, or Pechakucha. These are fascinating because for me they don't make rational sense. They're kind of counterintuitive. Twitter is so limiting in terms of what we can put there. We can only put 140 characters. Why the hell would I use something that really limits what I can do with it? Yet Twitter's blossomed exactly for that reason. You know that if you're on Twitter, no one's going to waste your time longer than 3 seconds perhaps. And if a link is sufficiently interesting, they'll move on elsewhere. Yeah?
So just as you say that people don't understand why 140 characters is good. I've heard about people who turned down being involved in managing SMSs for mobiles because they never thought it would take off either.
Yay!
Can I just say, there's another point that I was going to make. These platforms start to affect the way you think.
Yeah.
I'm starting to look at people and think, at Mike. So, looking at WordPress as a platform, a lot of people might think, well, it's too open. You know, if creative constraints are the way to go forward, then is blogging dead? Is WordPress as a platform dead? And I'd like to say no, because and by the way, I think have you guys noticed that more and more people are saying blogging is dead?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's coming a lot. A lot of people think that. But look at email as an application. People have also been saying email is impractical, email is dead. But people use email for everything. People use it for project management, they use it for knowledge management, they use it for, I mean, if you're like me, what I used to do is that I didn't know what I was going to do each day until I logged into my inbox. I'd arrive there and my whole priority, all my actions would be determined on based on what the first 5 things were I saw in my inbox. So the thing is, it's the flexibility of email that allowed us to do these incredible things with it. Almost anything we wanted. It can be an RSS reader, it can be whatever we want. And that's what really made email the killer app. WordPress is pretty similar in that regard. I don't know what that's all about. Sorry, did I mention that as Matt was talking, I was deleting slides? Sounds like I was going to say that, delete. I can't explain this. I was actually going to say that when there's so many potential uses for a particular thing, it's like lots of little hooks that drive engagement around it. So this is like Velcro. This is a picture of Velcro. So that's kind of what makes an application sticky. So in terms of enterprise software and enterprise applications, they say that if something isn't flexible enough, people aren't going to use it in the corporate enterprise. If I can't customize it to make it my own, I'm not going to get any of it. Alright, so what I'd suggest is mashups. Matt talked about the economics of abundance. And I've been thinking a lot about this. I thought, how can I ensure that I connect with as many people as possible while still making the most of the various platforms that I enjoy? So Twitter's best for microblogging, 12 seconds is best for video streaming, Zoopy best for longer videos, Facebook is best for connecting socially with friends. But the problem is that my personality is being increasingly fragmented here, there and everywhere, and I don't feel like I'm getting the traction around any of those. I might only go to a particular service once a month, for example, in which case it starts to become a little bit irrelevant. And my initial thought around this was then I must make very careful choices around what services and products I start to engage with. But then, believe me, that for a non-technical guy, this was quite a breakthrough. All the geeks are going to be like, duh. And then I discovered the real power of RSS. For me, what I realized in my breakthrough is that the real power of RSS is not RSS readers. Believe me. People over the age of 35, typically in companies, still don't know what an RSS reader is, and we'll tell them it's about productivity, and they'll say it's about wasting time. So, what I really like about RSS is we can create our own aggregators. So in my WordPress blog, this is unusual. There's many ways to turn it into a live stream. There's many ways to take your Flickr photos and make sure that they automatically get ported there. Everything you submit to Muti to make sure that that comes up in your sidebar all the time, dynamically. Every time you pop a YouTube post, so it comes up. So I don't have to feel obligated to run back to my blog every week. You know, as long as I'm engaging on whatever platform I feel like engaging, and that gets driven as an RSS feed through to my WordPress, then I'm very happy. So how do I do this? I'm completely non-technical. My solution? Widen my sidebars and put in widgets. But of course there's many better ways to do that. AD told me that there's a plugin that you can drive RSS from various sources. I saw this site, which I absolutely love. I don't know, AD forgot.
That guy just started the plugin. I think it's the guy that develops now, Kieran Delaney or something. It's just called Life, or Simple Life. That's what it's called,
Simple Life, yes, yeah, Simple Life. Oh, yeah, yes, Simple Life is the one. So, this is an example. I absolutely love this. This guy just grabs the RSS feed, and if you're like me and you're non-technical, that means clicking the little box on the right-hand side in the browser bar. You grab the feed, you put it into this little thing, and then anytime you do anything, anywhere on the web that you want other people to know, it gets aggregated on your own web presence, under your own domain name. Because my problem with really developing my reputation on Twitter or Friend Feed or YouTube or anything else is exactly what was discussed before. Those guys can go out of business, or I'm making sure that they earn more ad revenue and get more VC funding. Whereas I'm more interested personally in building my own brand. That's my economic incentive. So I'm far more interested in bringing all those services into my own space.